I was going to take the braids out. Forgot my lipstick. Namaste, my witchlings. How is everybody doing tonight? I figured out I was cold enough to wear a sweater. So, boom, boom, boom. There we go. Not where it belongs either. Da-da-da-da. There we go. Ha! How are we doing out there? I am doing pretty good. Got through my appointment with the doctor. Yay! She was only 15 minutes late. Yay! It's okay. Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead and dive in here. We're going to be... Oh, this is going to be maybe half hour, 45 minutes long, but we got some bitching to do tonight. So... I'm going to take a sip. Don't freaking stretch your cuffs out. All right, welcome back, witchlings, to the Bitchin Witch, the only podcast where we stir the cauldron, slap the lid on the bullshit, and call things what they actually are instead of what people pretend they are. If you are looking for soft-focused, spiritual bypassing, pastel memes about choosing joy, or someone telling you just let it go, babe, you are tragically, hilariously, aggressively in the wrong place. You know what we do here? We get loud. We get honest. We get messy. We get furious in a way that doesn't destroy us. It is a way that liberates us. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, I'm Di. I am your yoga teacher who refuses to whisper. I'm your witch who knows full damn good and well that magic isn't always love and light. Sometimes it's fire and teeth. I'm your spiritual big sister who has lived enough life to tell you you ain't crazy. They just exhausted. And I am your favorite angry auntie, the one who will stand in the kitchen with you on Thanksgiving and say, I swear to the goddess, if your cousin makes one more freaking comment about your life choices, I will hex the air fryer. I am fueled today by caffeine, righteous irritation, 30 years of witchcraft, and the pure audacity of the human race, which, quite frankly, has been testing me since January of 78. And today... today, my witchlings, we are talking about harmony in relationships. Except we are not, abso-fucking-lutely not, doing the Pinterest board love and light, just be patient version of harmony here. We are talking about what harmony really means in the wild, as in when harmony is just you tolerating behavior that should be yeeted directly into a volcano. With enthusiasm. So let me paint you a picture. You're sitting across from someone who keeps saying, I'm not trying to start anything, but... Translation, they are absolutely trying to start something. You breathe. You smile. You tell yourself, choose peace, ahimsa, ahimsa, ahimsa. But the truth, that deep gut level, soul level truth, you are not choosing peace. You are choosing a slow spiritual death. And I am done watching that happen, y'all. So grab your mugs, your cans, your whatever, my witchlings. Light a candle if you need a little bit more grounding. Clench your jaw if you need fuel. And take a deep breath into the center of your rib cages, because today, honey, we are going all in. We are ripping the mask off of harmony. We are slicing through the manipulation, the guilt, the self-abandonment, the sugar-coated live, love, laugh, love and light nonsense, all the shit the spiritual community loves to hide behind like a curtain made of sparkles and denial. Today we are going deep into the truth of what harmony actually is, what it is not, and why so many of us have been trained to sacrifice ourselves for it, and how Maitrī, real, genuine loving kindness, has nothing to do with being quiet and everything to do with being sovereign. Fasten your goddamn seatbelts, because I have got a dragon in my ribcage today, and she has thoughts. Take a sip. All right, my loves. Harmony is too often a costume we wear. Let's talk about the spiritual community's absolute favorite lie. The lie that gets shoved down your throat at yoga studios, meditation circles, women's circles, at family gatherings where everyone's pretending not to hate each other, and on every saccharine, sweet fucking Instagram post written in a font named something like, oh, I don't know, Lavender Dreams or some shit. That lie is this. Just be loving. Just keep the peace. Rise above. Don't let it get to you. You're better than that. Be the bigger person. Surrender, release, transcend. I'm sorry. Is this spirituality or a fucking hostage negotiation? Because honestly, half the advice I see sounds less like wisdom and a fuck ton more like emotional duct tape. Let's break it down. Every time someone says, just choose peace, here's what they actually mean. Let me keep behaving however I want with zero accountability. Don't call me out on the nonsense. It makes me itchy. Pretend what I said didn't hurt you. Make yourself smaller so I don't have to grow. Do the emotional labor I refuse to do, please. Don't disrupt my comfort, even though I am very definitely disrupting your sanity. And the spiritual world just hoovers it. They eat that shit up. People will tell you with a straight face that if you were truly enlightened, you wouldn't get upset. Bitch, say what? What? Excuse me? I may be a witch and a yogi, but I am not a fucking houseplant. I have nervous system. I have boundaries. And my autistic ass has a sense of justice so sharp it could slice through adamantium. Let me tell you something essential, y'all. Harmony without honesty is not harmony. It is emotional taxidermy. It's taking your real, living, messy as fuck human feelings and stuffing them into a display that looks peaceful but smells like formaldehyde and lies. Harmony becomes a costume people wear to avoid responsibility and accountability. You know the costume. You've seen the costume. Hell, plenty of us have worn the costume before we knew better. And it looks like the tight smile you plaster on your face during a conversation where someone keeps deliberately stepping on your boundaries. It's fine, don't worry about it, you say after someone said something that absolutely was not fine. The nodding and agreeing because conflict absolutely terrifies you. The biting your tongue so hard you taste copper. The way your stomach twists when someone says something so disrespectful, but you let it slide because now is not the time. Let me say this loud and clear. That is not harmony. That is survival mode. It's psychological contortion, mental gymnastics, bending yourself into shapes you were never meant to hold. It's emotional hostage taking, where you're both the prisoner and the guard. It's the spiritual version of, I'm fine. The emoji that screams absolutely not fine. And I will not sit quietly while people call that being fucking spiritual. Maitrī, real loving kindness, is not Holy Doormat Syndrome. Maitrī says, I extend compassion to myself first because I am a living, breathing being, not a sacrifice. You know what the community sometimes calls high vibration behavior? Silence, compliance, passivity. You know what I call those? Symptoms of someone who has been trained by family, by culture, by trauma, by spiritual bypassing, to believe that their needs are dangerous. Let me say that again. We have been trained by whatever to believe that our needs are dangerous. Okay, I want you to imagine yourself in a canoe on a lake. God, that sounds blissful and peaceful, doesn't it? But now, imagine that lake is filled with all of the shit you have never said. all of the times you didn't speak up, all of the times you swallowed a boundary, all of the times someone crossed the line and you told yourself, it's not worth the fight. That lake gets murky real quick. That lake gets deep. And suddenly, you're no longer peacefully floating away. You're sinking under the weight of your own goddamn silence. Harmony isn't you drowning quietly while someone else stands on the shore saying, isn't she so peaceful? She never complains. Harmony is not you losing your voice so someone else can keep pretending nothing's wrong. Harmony is not spiritual debt, you paying the cost while they enjoy the benefits. Let's be clear. Harmony built on your self-abandonment is not harmony. It's a graveyard with nice landscaping. And listen, sometimes the absolute kindest thing you can do, the most spiritual, the most compassionate, the most alignment-filled, most Maitrī-infused thing is to burn the bridge so thoroughly that nobody can ever cross it again. Sometimes that is the only way to protect your peace. Sometimes that is the only way to reclaim your voice. Sometimes that is the only way you stop the cycle of performative peacekeeping and start the path towards real, genuine connection. Because here's the thing. Fake harmony, cheap. Real harmony is earned. Fake harmony is silent. Real harmony is resonant. Hello, harmony. Fake harmony avoids discomfort, and real harmony moves through it. Fake harmony feels like tiptoeing and walking like on eggshells. Real harmony feels like, finally, exhaling. Fake harmony is brittle. Real harmony is flexible. Fake harmony shatters and breaks when the truth shows up, and real harmony just gets stronger. And the absolute best part of all of this, the absolute best part, you can feel the difference in your body because your body knows before your mind does. Your gut feel, your jaw knows, your shoulders, your gut, your breath, your heart, and your energy sure as the hell knows. The absolute millisecond you pretend something is okay when it isn't, your body files a complaint with HR, and HR is your nervous system. That is not an HR I want to fight with. Harmony is not playing nice. Harmony is playing true and fair. And if the people in your life can't handle it, well, then that's not harmony. It is a hostage situation with incense. Just saying. Let's talk about manipulative peacekeepers. Let's wade into this swamp together because there is a special type of person. You know them, you've met them, you may have dated them, God's help you, who uses the word peace like a weapon. These are the manipulative peacekeepers, and no, that is not a term of endearment. These are the people who will sit in a room, cause a fuck ton of chaos, toss emotional grenades, sprinkle around some little microaggressions like confetti, and then look at you, and say, can we just keep things calm? I don't want to fight. I swear, if irony were an Olympic sport, these people would have more gold medals than Michael fucking Phelps. So let's break down the species. We have subtype number 1, the let's just keep things calm goblin. This is the person who says with a straight face, let's not escalate things. Escalate what? I responded to your behavior, honey. I didn't summon a demon. I didn't fling a fireball. And I didn't open a portal to the astral fucking plane. You treated me like an emotional chew toy. And when I said, hey, that was not okay, you called it escalation. Translation here? Please don't make me look at myself. I'm allergic to accountability. This subtype loves to pretend they are the Zen master of the group, as if their avoidance is enlightenment instead of fucking cowardice. Subtype 2. The can we all just get along avoidant diplomat. This one can be spotted by the 1,000-yard stare they get whenever someone expresses a boundary. You could say the most normal, healthy, emotionally regulated statement. That comment really hurt my feelings. And this person will clutch their pearls like you just stabbed them with a ceremonial athame. Why does everything have to be such a big deal? Because it is a big deal, honey. Because having feelings does not make me the villain in your internal soap opera. Because getting along is code for stop pointing at the issues I refuse to deal with. The reality? This subtype would rather everyone sit in a sinkhole of passive-aggressive tension that rather than address a single conflict like a grown fucking adult. Subtype number 3, the why are you overreacting gaslighter. Oh, yes. The classic, the crowd favorite, and the winner of worst spiritual advice ever given for the past 56 consecutive years. This person will say something outrageous. I mean, just truly out there. And when you react like a human being, they respond with, calm down. You're being dramatic. You're overreacting. I was just joking. You're too sensitive. This is the kind of person who will set your hair on fire and then scold you for screaming. You're not overreacting. You're reacting appropriately to someone who underestimates you. I have a few of those in my life. Let me tell you the secret these peacekeepers don't want anyone to say out loud. Their comfort requires your silence. Their version of harmony requires your self-abandonment. Their peace is parasitic. And honestly, I am tired. So tired. Tired in my bones of watching witches, healers, empaths, leaders, sensitive souls, kind-hearted humans, and recovering people pleasers contort themselves into fucking origami swans just so these hobgoblins can keep pretending the room is peaceful. These people don't want peace. They want compliance. They want emotional maids who quietly clean up their messes. They want you to smooth out the wrinkles in their behavior so they never have to sit in the discomfort of their own fucking consequences. But here's the kicker. Their peace always costs you more than it costs them. You've paid with exhaustion, with resentment, with anxiety, self-doubt, with every unspoken truth that sat in your throat until it calcified. And for what? For their comfort, their emotional convenience, their image of themselves as the reasonable one, when really, reasonable is just their PR spin. They're not peaceful. They're avoidant, self-serving, and terrified of real intimacy because intimacy requires honesty, and honesty requires conflict, and conflict requires two adults, and they only brought one. And when you finally stand up and say, hey, yo, this does not work for me. Hey, that behavior is not acceptable. I am done pretending everything is fine. They treat you like you just set off fucking fireworks in a goddamned monastery. Because it shatters their illusion. It disrupts their fantasy of being the serene one. Because your truth is a mirror they've spent their entire forking lives avoiding. So they call it drama. They call you negative. They call your reaction unnecessary. But in reality, the truth of all of this, you broke the spell. You stepped out of the role they assigned you. You stopped being their emotional shock absorber, and suddenly, magically, the peace they claim to uphold disappears. Because it was never real. It was never collective. It was never shared. It was never harmony. It was you carrying everything. And you are not going to do that anymore. Take another drink, Di. I'm guilty of this one. People-pleasing is a trauma response, not a virtue. So let's talk about a truth most people will not say because it is far too raw, real, uncomfortable, and definitely too revealing. People-pleasing is not kindness. People-pleasing is conditioned survival. It is not generosity. It is not a virtue. It is not enlightenment. And it is not spiritual maturity. It is fear wearing a polite smile. People-pleasing is what happens when you grow up or grow through a life where the message was your needs make you difficult. Your emotions make you inconvenient. Your truth makes you a problem. Your boundaries make you unlovable. So you learn to disappear. Not all at once. No. Not all at once. Slowfully, skillfully, strategically, and in ways that made you look good. You learned that saying yes kept you safe. You learned that being agreeable protected you. You learned that apologizing for things you didn't do kept the peace. You learned that shrinking made people leave you the fluff alone. You learned that being perfect made you less punishable. People-pleasing is not a personality trait. It is a learned defense mechanism, a trauma response wrapped up in pretty wrapping paper. And society loves that wrapping paper because people-pleasers make everything easier for everybody else. They're not difficult. They aren't loud, messy, needy, or demanding. They're convenient, predictable, self-sacrificing, and emotionally flexible enough to bend around everybody else's dysfunction without breaking. Until one day, they do break. And then everybody acts all shocked. Where's this coming from? You've never been like this before. You're acting so different. Why are you suddenly so emotional? No, sweetheart, you're not suddenly emotional. You're suddenly being honest. And that terrifies people who have benefited from your silence. Let's call it what it is. People-pleasing is I love that word. People-pleasing is hypervigilance in a cute outfit. It's scanning every room for the emotional weather. It's adjusting yourself to match the temperature of that room. It's forecasting storms before they happen so you can prevent them. It is self-erasure in the name of safety. You think you're helping. You think you're smoothing things over. You think you're making life easier for everyone. But what you're actually doing? Honey, you're disappearing. Piece by piece, moment by moment, boundary by boundary. People-pleasing trains you to treat yourself like an afterthought. And then you wonder why everybody else around you does the same. People-pleasing teaches others, my needs are negotiable, my boundaries are flexible, my comfort is optional, my silence is guaranteed, my resentment will stay quiet. And every time you swallow your truth, you teach yourself that you are not worth protecting. But here's the thing, my dear, my darling, my beloved little witchlings, the beautiful, liberating, and utterly terrifying thing. You are not obligated to be likable. I'm going to say that one again. You are not obligated to be likable. You are not required to be agreeable. You are not responsible for everyone else's comfort. You are actually not responsible for anyone else's comfort. You do not exist to regulate other people's emotions. And you are allowed right now, to choose you. And yes, it is going to feel so wrong at first because survival patterns feel like truth until you question them. People pleasing feels like love until you realize that it always leads to resentment. People pleasing feels like harmony until you realize it only creates silence. People pleasing feels like compassion until you realize that compassion without boundaries is just self-abandonment wearing a halo. You deserve better than being the emotional support animal for people who refuse to self-fucking regulate. You deserve relationships where your no is respected and not guilt-tripped. Where your needs don't make you the villain. Where honesty doesn't start wars. Where your boundaries aren't negotiable barter items. You deserve a place where your existence doesn't require constant diplomacy. And if someone gets hurt, oh, the air quotes are big here, because you finally set a boundary, let me be 100% crystal fucking clear. They weren't benefiting from your kindness. They were benefiting from your lack of self-respect. And when you reclaim that, when you say, actually, I'm not doing that anymore. When you say, no, this doesn't work for me. When you stop lighting yourself on fire just to keep them warm, they lose access, not to your love. You're still loving, not to your heart. You're still warm, not to your generosity. You're still giving. They lose access to the version of you who tolerated being treated like shit. And that is not a loss. That is an upgrade. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I apologize for the noise of me slurping in the mic again, y'all. All right. So, are you feeling a little ragey now? You are perfectly valid. So, let's talk anger. The forbidden fruit of the spiritual world, the emotion everyone tells you is low vibration. The feeling your childhood probably taught you to swallow, and the thing society labels as too much. Let me tell you something that might sound like blasphemy to the Love and Light Brigade. Your anger is holy, sacred, vital, a survival instinct with a doctorate in truth-telling. It is not a flaw. It is not a weakness. It is not the opposite of enlightenment. Anger is the spiritual alarm system wired into your fork and soul. You know that little spark in your gut? That little tiny flicker you feel when someone crosses a line? The heat behind your ribs when someone talks down to you? That surge of electricity when someone innocently makes a disrespectful comment and then claims they were just joking. That's not overreacting. That is your spirit saying this is not okay. Because so many of us were raised to be good, nice, pleasant, cooperative, unproblematic, or peaceful. Here's what we learned instead. Smile instead of speak. Be polite instead of honest. Swallow the sting because conflict is scary and bad. Shrink so others never feel threatened. Apologize even when they're the one who should be apologizing to you. Convince yourself the hurt wasn't that bad. rewrite the story so you're the one to blame. And then, God's help us, then the spiritual community piles on with anger lowers your vibration. You need to release it. You should strive for tranquility. Anger is attachment. Anger is the ego. Anger means you're not evolved. I'm sorry, say what? Who benefits from you silencing your anger? Here's a little hint. It ain't you. Every time you're told, just let it go, someone is actually saying, please, for the love of all of the gods, do not call me out. Your anger is not the problem. Your suppression is the problem. Your silence is the problem. Your self-denial is the problem. Anger is information and clarity, and it is a boundary that learned how to speak. Let's say that one again. Anger is a boundary that learned how to speak. And many of us should have listened to it years ago. We felt the spark. Oh, we've definitely felt it. Every time somebody dismisses your feelings, interrupts your truth, someone makes a joke that wasn't a joke. Someone takes advantage of your kindness, takes without giving back. Someone storms into your peace with their fucking chaos. Someone uses you as their emotional dumping ground. They minimize your achievements, ignore your needs, lies, and expects you to just accept it. And someone demands softness while giving you sandpaper. And what did we do? We choked it down. We let it sit in our throats like a stone. We buried it because we were taught good people don't get angry. And here's the reality. You're not good when you suppress your anger. You're silent. And silence is not virtue. It is self-erasure. That anger is not darkness. It is illumination. It is pointing to what is misaligned, what is unjust, and what desperately needs to change. It points to what you're tolerating that your soul is done tolerating. It points to where you abandon yourself to who no longer deserves access. It points to where your boundaries are absolutely begging for reinforcement. Anger is not your enemy. It is the messenger. And let me tell you this with all the fire I have got. You are not overreacting. You are under-boundaried. You have been a doormat. If someone can poke the same wound over and over and over and over and over again, and you're still trying to stay calm, that doesn't make you spiritually enlightened. It makes you spiritually exhausted. Anger is not the end. It is the doorway. It's a catalyst. It's the ignition and the absolute moment the spell begins. When you let yourself feel anger, and I mean really feel it without shame, it does something magical. Your spine straightens, your breath deepens, your voice returns, and your truth rises like smoke from the cauldron. Your sovereignty clicks right back into place, and you stop saying, I'm fine. You start saying, this ends now. Your anger is not here to destroy you. It is here to resurrect you. Use it. Not to harm, but to heal. Not to lash out, but to stand up. Not to lash out, but to stand up. You are not using your anger to harm, but to heal. You are not using it to burn others, but to burn the lies you believed about your worth. Anger is the fire that forges your boundaries. And honey, child, you are due for some reforging. All right, y'all. Real harmony, real harmony requires confrontation, my friends. Let's get into the deliciously uncomfortable truth people avoid like it's gluten. You cannot have harmony without confrontation. You cannot love and light your way into a real relationship. You cannot meditate conflict out of existence. You cannot journal your way past someone else's lack of accountability. Harmony is not the absence of conflict. Harmony is the presence of truth. Let's do a little music metaphor because, come on, we're talking harmony here. Harmony isn't one note repeating, whispering, I don't want to upset anyone, I don't want to upset anyone, I don't want to upset anyone. Harmony is multiple notes coexisting, sometimes clashing, sometimes resonating, sometimes shifting until they find a way to blend. Harmony is dynamic. It is alive. It moves, breathes, and requires effort. You want to know what's not harmony? One person doing all the emotional labor. One person filtering every sentence. One person walking on eggshells. One person constantly smoothing over conflict. One person bending so much they structurally collapse. One person playing mediator for everyone else's dysfunction. And one person setting themselves on fire for the peace of the group. That's not harmony. That's hostage negotiation with sage sticks. True harmony requires repair, and repair cannot happen without confrontation. Confrontation is not aggression. Confrontation is truth in motion. It sounds like, hey, that hurt me. Hey, I need more support here. Hey, this dynamic isn't working. And if someone cannot hear that without melting down, shutting down, lashing out, or calling you dramatic, then we have a simple but oh so painful truth. They don't want harmony. They want dominance. They want someone who won't challenge them. They want someone who's going to make things easy, who will absorb the tension on their behalf. They want someone who's going to shoulder all of the responsibility for the relationship and who will do all the emotional lifting. They don't want a partner. They want an emotional support witch. And you are retired from that role, my dear. Let's talk accountability because here's where things get spicy. And I don't mean neurospicy. Real harmony? Real harmony requires both people to show up. Not just one. Not just the person who is bitter with emotions, or the person who hates conflict least, or not just the person who notices problems first. Not just the empath, the healer, or the one who's done the therapy, the shadow work, the chakra balancing, the ancestral healing, the journaling, the inner child work, the boundaries coaching, spell work, and the yoga. Both people have to show up. Both people. Because harmony is co-created. It is not carried. If someone refuses to have this conversation, refuses to acknowledge the hurt, refuses to take ownership, refuses to grow and listen, what you have is not harmony. What you have is a fucking emotional dictatorship. And guess what? You're not serving that regime anymore. Let's talk spell work. Because sometimes the most magical, most liberating, and most spiritually aligned thing you can possibly do is end the connection. Let me make this clear. Let me make this clear right here, right now. Witches don't cut cords lightly. We do not shut doors without good cause. We do not banish on a whim, and we do not throw people out just for sport. But for the love of all things holy and witchy as fuck, some bridges need to be burned so thoroughly that not even the ashes remember the relationship. Burning a bridge is not cruelty. It is not failure. It is not giving up. Burning a bridge is, I refuse to keep walking towards people who only meet me with disrespect. Burning a bridge is my peace is far more important than your comfort. Burning a bridge is, I am choosing myself now. Bridge burning witchcraft looks really simple. What it looks like is saying no. Saying, I am done. I will not do this anymore. It is saying nothing and just walking away. It is choosing sanity, sovereignty, space, silence over chaos, and choosing your self-respect over someone else's fucking entitlement. You don't always need a spell. Because guess what? Your boundary is the spell. Your no, aside from being an entire sentence, is a banishing. Your I'm done is a cord cutting. Your silence is a ward, and your exit is an exorcism. And yes, people are going to accuse you of being harsh. People will say you overreacted. People are going to call it dramatic, sudden, unnecessary, immature, impulsive, and cruel. God's will they do all of the above. But here's the thing. The people who call you harsh are the ones who were benefiting from your softness. The ones who call you dramatic are the ones who ignored every fucking warning. The people who say it's unnecessary are the ones who abso-fucking-lutely refuse to take responsibility. The ones who call it impulsive are the ones who dismissed the 40 fucking million chances you gave them. The ones who are calling it immature are the ones who have never learned to have an adult conversation. And the people who call it cruel, they're just mad their supply chain got cut off. When you burn a bridge responsibly, intentionally, magically, consciously, it is not spite. It's purification. Cleansing with fire. You are clearing the path, protecting your future. You are uncluttering your energy and reclaiming your voice. You are choosing liberation over hopes. You don't burn every bridge, but some are infested. Been there, done that. Literally have a t-shirt to prove it. Oops. So, we've talked about what harmony is not. Now let's talk about what real, actual, honest to the bones Maitrī looks like. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! It's not cute, soft, or floating on a lotus petal whispering affirmations into the void. Real Maitrī, the fierce, ancient, relentless loving kindness that comes from the marrow, says, I refuse to abandon myself ever again. I will not shrink to make you more comfortable. I will not silence myself so you can pretend I'm easy to love. I will not tolerate harmful behavior under the branding of peace. I will choose harmony that includes my needs, my truth, and my voice. Maitrī is not the pacifist version of compassion. Maitrī is the dragon version of compassion. She loves you fiercely, and she will scorch anything that endangers your sovereignty, including your patterns, your old wounds, silence, and the relationships built on your erasure. Maitrī is the part of you that says, I am done performing, pacifying, accepting crumbs, being the peacekeeper, and I am done letting people weaponize compassion against me. Real Maitrī is liberation. All right, witchlings. We're going to take a deep breath. Let your chest expand, your shoulders loosen. Feel that heat behind your ribs still glowing. Because if your hands are shaking right now with rage, good. If your jaw feels tight, good. If your heart feels like it's cracking open, fuck yeah. If you feel a little angry or a lot angry, hell's yeah. That anger is your compass, and it is your power returning. That anger is your soul saying, I am done accepting the unacceptable. You deserve harmony that doesn't require your suffering. You deserve peace that does not demand your silence. You deserve relationships where honesty isn't punished. You deserve connections that don't collapse when you speak your truth. You deserve people who meet you where you are, not people who expect you to fold yourself into shapes that fit their comfort. Carry your fire, witchlings. Let Maitrī guide you not into softness, but into sovereignty. As we end tonight's episode, I want to offer you a closing blessing, the kind of blessing I give during my daily draws, the kind of blessing that wraps itself around your spirit and whispers, you made it through another day. So, here it is. May the fire in your chest stay bright, and may the truth in your bones stay loud. May your boundaries rise like sacred walls, built not from fear, but from fierce self-love. May every step you take be rooted in Maitrī, the kind that protects, the kind that liberates, the kind that refuses to abandon the self for anyone else's comfort. May your voice return to you stronger than ever. May your spirit remember its power. May your heart remember its worth, and may your path clear itself of anyone who cannot walk beside you with honesty. Go with fire in your veins, clarity in your mind, and sovereignty in your soul. Blessed be and namaste, my witchlings. May you never dim for anyone again. Go out and spread love, joy, and kindness. There is enough darkness and hate out there. We need to be beacons of light and hope. Tell your loved ones how you feel, whether they're animal or human, because we do not know how long we have with them, and that last phone call sucks. And always, always remember, you are loved, you are wanted, you are needed. And your reason for being here is genuine and true, even if you haven't found it yet. I love you guys to bits. Namaste, witchlings. Let's check. Oops.